how do we get to 9 wins? How do we get to 10 wins? That's what I think. That's why I think this training camp is going to be so pivotal. And it's going to be really interesting to see what the Bears are going to do to make some additions. Now, we did just get a little bit of an update here from Daniel Greenberg tweeting out about, or I should say from Peggy Kaczynski, but Daniel Greenberg tweeted out about it. And I saw his first, basically saying that Chicago Bears are showing interest in signing pass rusher Justin Houston. I'm assuming Peggy, my now teammate, said this over on ESPN 1000 today. Justin Houston to the Bears would be a very, very big move. I mean, that would essentially give you the pass rusher that you're looking for, the pass rusher that this team is going to need. And I guess the question is then, when you're sitting there in the room, if you're Ryan Poles, is Justin Houston enough to make DeMarcus Walker better, to make Dominique Robinson better? Because remember, whatever player comes here is going to get the number one looks. The number one looks are double teams, chips, all of that stuff that happens in the backfield. That's what you got to, that's what that guy's going to have to deal with. Now, Justin Houston, to me, absolutely a guy who could do that. I wouldn't be against having Justin Houston here at all. What are your thoughts on if the Bears go out and get Justin Houston? As a signing, do you feel like that would be a good move for the Bears to make to add to this defense?
I mean, I'm here like, why not? Because we're formed. It's the building blocks are there.
Yeah.
So if we have any room, if we have any money, whatever it takes to add even more to that, because again, coming off last year and the year before, either we've had personnel issues and coaching is involved in that, or we've been hit with the injury bug.
Yeah.
So to me, you can't have too many assets, especially where we are now, where, okay, we have everything else set up. We're actually looking to see, or anticipating to see, how the defensive side of the ball will be reacting or playing this season, and waiting in expectation of the offensive side. So any new additions that come to the defense, of course, being from here, we are all excited. So anybody with any sort of skill set that can add on to that, I'm with it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think here's the main thing, right? At the end of the day, when you look at this Bears team, when you look at, this is the part that I don't want people to forget. I'm all for going all in on the offense. I'm all for going after the big offensive guys. Samurai J, shout out for the super chat. I'm all for going after the big offensive guys. I'm all for going out and, trying to get the best weapons that you can. But remember, sometimes your best offensive weapon can be a defense that puts you in a position to go out there and make plays easily. You can't just forget about the defense. You do have to have some sort of want to when it comes to, getting to the quarterback. You have to have some sort of ability. The Bears were net negative 37 last season when it came to sacks. Your leading sacker was a safety. That's a problem. Jaquan Brisker shouldn't be the guy leading the way in sacks for you. And so for me, like, this is a move that if the Bears were to get this done, if they were to go out and get Justin Houston, I mean, we've got the money to do it. I wouldn't be surprised if they made a move like this. I feel like this would be a move that does take some pressure off of some of the other guys there. And to me, with what this Bears team already has built up, with what this Bears team already has in place, I think that there is a lot of number twos on this defense. And what I mean by that is DeMarcus Walker DeMarcus Walker is a number two in that Tennessee defense, right? 7 sacks, but wasn't the main guy. Andrew Billings, good sack numbers, wasn't the main guy. Tremaine Edmonds, TJ, you have a lot of those number twos. Justin Houston to me comes in. He can be a legitimate number one for you. Wouldn't be surprised to see that if you can rush the passer, you can force these guys. You turn your blue chip guys into blue chip guys. And I think that's the part for me that gets me the most excited to see the Bears go out and get somebody, and gives me the most pause if they don't when I'm sitting here making my prediction on what this defense can be. I mean, honestly, Tremaine Edmonds is who he is because of that pass rush that's been in front of him. You know what I mean? Tremaine Edmonds is a great player, but you can't take away what the bodies up front did for him. Tremaine Edmonds was a great defender, but you can't take TJ Edwards can't take away what the bodies up front did for him. And so for me, I look at a lot of these things that, you know, the Bears are trying to put in place, even with the back end guys, our DBs. You look at Tyreek Stevenson coming in his first year, Jalen Johnson, Eddie Jackson, all of those guys, right? To me, I'm sitting here and I'm telling you that I think that they're really good players. But I've seen what a lot of these players have done without a pass rush, and it is not good. And so you need that pass rush to be there. You need that pass rush to make yourself a little bit more viable. He's coming off, like I said, a 9.5 sack season. So I think that would be a really, really good move for the Bears to make. Now, if I'm not mistaken, let me get an age on Justin Houston here. 34 years 34. Old. You're probably not. I mean, here's the thing: you're not committing long term to him. It's a 1-year thing.
Right.
Maybe a 1-and-1. I don't. The NFL version of a 1-and-1, which basically means we're gonna pay you this money now. We probably cutting you next year. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean he has an inability to get to the quarterback. You're probably not committing crazy money to him at that. And I think that that's one of the things that Ryan Poles talked about today. If you listen to the press conference, by the way, Samurai J with the super chat said, yo, it's been a minute, my guy. We're going to get a Cubs Sox live call. Let's get it going. Nobody cares. That's the problem. Nobody cares. Me and AD ain't talked trash Cubs Sox one time.
That's fine. Hey, man.
We ain't trash talked Cubs Sox one time.
Cubs creeping up there. But
yeah, we don't care.
Shout out.
Nobody cares.
Shout out to the Chicago Cubs and the Crosstown Classic. Everybody be safe and enjoy the game.
Nobody cares.
Of course.
That's the problem.
No fighting.
Hey, the fighting is going to take place just among Sox fans who are like, we got to trade Dylan Cease. No, we don't. Well, you better not do a spit take on Joe Computers over there. Oh, man. But nah, man, what Ryan Poles was alluding to today, that I really thought was interesting when asked about what this team was going to be able to do as far as going out and getting pass rushers. Of course, you know, we've all talked about Yannick Ngakoue. We've all talked about maybe going and trading for Chase Young. We've talked about going and trading for Danielle Hunter. You know, who could the Bears realistically go out and get? And at the end of the day, it seems like Ryan Poles is not going to overspend to make that Khalil Mack move. But the players that you could go after absolutely take this team from maybe a 7-win team to me, you're talking about a 9-10-win team. Is that a mistake?
No. I don't see why it would be. My thing is you only get benefits from signing the OG. So he's 34. He's coming from the Ravens.
Yep.
So, I mean, you have a plethora of rookies on his team in general. So there's nothing but like game that can be given on top of whatever he does give us in a positive is a plus. I don't see any negatives from signing him. Like you said, a 1-year situation. We see what happens. Something special happens. We catch lightning in a bottle. We'll address that when we get there. But like this, the point of everything this year is improvement, steady improvement. What we've been talking about, because again, there are a lot of options that Poles has, and we are really, for the first time in a while, we playing with house money.
Yeah,
house money. This is very reminiscent of the Cubs exceeding expectations in 2015 and getting the Cards up out of there in that first round of the playoffs. Like everything, like we were playing with house money. Everything we do in a positive, we are really taking, and anything else we take with a grain of salt and being critical but hopeful. So that is a very big theme or backdrop of the season.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, I think that Justin Houston signals that you realize you have to do something, but you're not willing to overpay for that something.
Right.
And that's not a problem for me, because to me, right, you're still a year, maybe 2 years away from Super Bowl championship talk, which means that you have to build on top of draft classes, which means that you have to put teams together that are you've got already Ryan Poles' first draft class. He's now bringing in his second one here. You're compiling those teams together. And so to me, if you're going to start making moves like that, if you're going to start trying to put together a team that's going to be a long-lasting team, I don't think that you can give up, at least to me, trade assets. And I mean, here's the thing. I love Yannick Ngakoue, but paying him now, he's heading towards 30. You're going to be on the other side of 30, paying him most of his contract. At a certain point in the NFL, there does come a drop-off. I'm not saying there's a guarantee. I'm not saying I wouldn't go out and sign him. But if there is a number that is too high for the long term of this team, I can understand why Ryan Poles wouldn't want to go out and sign a guy like that right now. Because I think about the last time we did this, right? Khalil Mack is the last. That is if you go out and get a Yannick Ngakoue, if you go out and trade for a Danielle Hunter, that is your Khalil Mack swing for the fences move. Khalil Mack got hurt and we had nothing left.
Right.
And that's why we were 8-8, 8-9. What were we one year? We were freaking last year. We were 6-11. You know what I mean? Like, that's why those things happen. And so you can't just risk it all to go out there and try and make one move work. I like the move. I agree that it is a very important position, but Ryan Poles told you coming into this season, there's still going to be holes on this team. So you gotta kind of live with some of the holes that are going to be there. Like the video if you agree, subscribe to the page. Appreciate you guys for showing love, man. Stay with us on this. We're going to keep improving it. As y'all can see, we got a little more light in the studio. We got a little light in the studio today. You know, you can see me a little bit. AD's still in the back, a little dark. That's all right.
Hey, man,
we're going to get it right.
I'm just black. You know, just black.
Because I'm black, y'all. Because I'm black, y'all. Because I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. No, but I think that there's a lot of good that can come from this year's training camp. This, to me, is such a pivotal training camp for Ryan Poles, for the Chicago Bears, for the future of this team, not just because of what Justin Fields is going to be able to do, but because you're finally going to see what two draft class layered on top of each other is realistically going to be. And that's going to be really interesting. That's going to be really interesting to see. Something else that we got out of here. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Appreciate you guys for showing love. A lot of nuggets out of the pressers today. Justin Fields let it slip